Hello, it's Lisa Dickey from Dickey's Cooking School, and today we're going to make a glory bowl. This is also known as a Buddha bowl, and we're going to make it today with cubed frozen butternut squash, wheat berries, and kale. And we are going to also press and fry tofu. So the first thing you need to do is take your tofu out of the package, cut it into 1-inch cubes, and then you're going to press it between two cutting boards and have paper towel top and bottom. We want to squeeze the moisture out of that because we're going to dredge it in cornstarch and fry it. For our squash, you're going to preheat your oven to 400, and to your squash, you're going to add a little bit of cumin, like a teaspoon, okay, about that. If you do not like cumin, don't add it, because you won't like the taste of it. So we're gonna add some cumin. We're also going to add a bit of salt. We're gonna toss it with a little bit of oil. And then we're going to add in a little bit of brown sugar, just to kind of caramelize it and give it a bit of sweetness, okay? So this squash, first thing you need to do is you need to give it a really, really great toss to make sure it's all coated in the brown sugar and the oil and the salt and the cumin, okay? And we're just gonna lay this out into a silicone pan and have it one single layer. And I'm gonna just put it all in the center so it'll all kind of eat. Mushrooms, you could add onions, anything. It's highly customizable, but for today's purposes, we're just gonna do squash and kale, and I might throw in some red pepper at the end, along with the tofu. Okay, this is gonna go in the oven for about 20 minutes, okay? We want a little bit of caramelizing on the sides. We want it to be a little bit caramelized, a little bit browned, and pretty tender on the inside. Back in a minute. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to cooking our wheat berries. So, wheat berries are a really great source of fiber. They're a good source of protein. And you don't have to do this step, but it does give them a little bit of a nicer flavor. Into a dry skillet, heat it up. We've got it on medium high, and we're gonna dump about 3/4 of a cup of wheat berries in. We're just gonna let them toss and cook. Anytime you're roasting a nut or a grain in a pan, your best indicator that it's been roasted properly is to use your nose, okay? So what you're looking for to smell is this nice, warm, slightly toasted, slightly nutty smell. You don't want to burn them, and so you want to kind of keep them moving, and so you're just going to shift them around for a little bit. And depending on the nut or the grain, it's going to take anywhere between 2 and 5 minutes to give them a nice toast, and also depending on how toasted you want them. Okay, so you're just gonna toast them up. And once you start to get that really lovely toasted smell, what you're gonna do is you're gonna dump them into a pot, a big heavy pot, and you're gonna cover it with at least 4 or 5 inches of water above it. You're gonna set it to boil on high. Once it comes to a boil, you're gonna turn it down to a simmer, and they're gonna simmer between 10 and 15 minutes. And this is what you're gonna come out with. These beautiful, plump wheat berries. They're firm, but they're not super hard to bite on. They're tasty. And the best thing about making a salad like this is you do a bit of work in the front end, and this is a great salad over a couple of days. The kale really holds up, the squash obviously holds up, and the wheat berries definitely hold up. Okay, we're gonna show you how to put it all together in a few minutes. And we've got everything dredged. The oil is nice and hot. And can you hear that fizzing? You wanna see little bubbles form around whatever you're frying, and that lets you know that the oil is hot enough. Please use real caution when you're dealing with hot oil. It's a great way to cook things. Also, it's a wonderful way to burn yourself. So don't check your email. If your kids are doing this, absolutely give them your full attention if they're using oil. It's dangerous. You can get a super serious burn, and you want to be really careful, okay? So we're gonna not overfill the pan, but I think we're gonna cook all of these in 2 batches. We are back, so we're just gonna assemble everything now. We have our fried tofu, we have chopped kale, chopped peppers, we have our roasted squash. We're gonna toss that in. So in this case, I use black kale just because it's less lacy than the standard kale. I find the other stuff kind of catches in my throat a bit. I don't really like it as much, but you can also use the other kale. I've added the roasted peppers. If you have a fresh butternut squash and don't want to use the frozen cubed, by all means do that. It'll roast a little bit longer because you probably cubes are going to be a little bit bigger, but it's really lovely. Add this. Now we're going to add some tofu to this. And now for our dressing. We have 2 tablespoons of tahini, some minced garlic, 1 clove, pinch of salt, 1 tablespoon of cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon of honey, and then we're just going to give that a quick whisk. Tablespoon of soy. Give that a quick mix. I like the combination of a little bit of heat with it, so I'm going to add a dash of chili oil. You could also use sriracha or any kind of hot sauce that you like. I'm just going to put a couple drops in and mix that up. If you like your dressing sweeter, you could also add juice to this, a little bit of mango juice, a teeny bit of orange juice just to thin it out. You could add lime juice or lemon juice if you want it tangier and omit the cider vinegar. You could add more tahini so it's a really thick dressing. Basically, just make it the way you want it, okay? This is just sort of a standard. Taste it as always. Yummo. And then add it to it. And you want to give it a nice vigorous toss so it's really coated. The beauty of using kale is that it is sturdy, whereas most lettuce, it's like once you dress it, you can use it that evening and then you're done. This is a good salad that'll sit in your fridge for a couple of days, and it's really healthy and it looks pretty. And it's good for you, and it'll fill you up and take your mind off the fact that it's snowing in March and March break is going on for another 3 weeks. And that's it. Happy days, everyone. Make the best of it. Wash your hands as if they have something disgusting on them, and take care. This is Lisa Dickey from Dickey's Cooking School. Happy baking, and bye-bye.